something to grade with, okay? So here's what you're going to do. I have this developer, and we call him the developer from hell, okay? Obviously, he thinks he's the developer from heaven because he's a believer. He's a religious guy. You know, he believes in God. And he believes in God because he implemented God, okay? So that's why he believes in God. Nobody got the joke. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So nobody got the joke, definitely. Okay. So he claims to be such a good developer that he implemented God, right? That's why he believes in God. Nobody gets the joke. Okay, I give up. So what I ask him to do is I say, okay, you're going to write a program that has 3 inputs, A, B, and C, okay? And we don't care about how you are going to write the code. We don't care about the implementation. All we care is about the result. So each one of those 3 parameters represent one side of a triangle. So this program is going to do its magic, and then somehow, we don't care how, it can be words, it can be colors, it can be symbols, it can be music. We don't care how it does it. The only thing we care is that that output is going to let us know if with those 3 inputs, we get an equilateral triangle or an isosceles or an scalene triangle. Everybody knows those 3 kinds of triangles, right? I don't need to explain them. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to come up with as many tests as you can to prove that the developer from hell is wrong and he doesn't write perfect code, okay? So, questions?
Yeah. When you say tests, do you mean values for ABC?
Yes, exactly. So it's a black box. We don't know how it's implemented. We only care about those ABC. So what will be the tests that you will create to prove that this either works or doesn't work? You have 2 minutes. Go ahead. I'm sorry? Yes, each group. And then the post-its, as you write it down, put them on that flip chart that you have in front of you. One of you tell everybody else, just speak out loud, give us one of your best test cases. Come on. That team, the one that you guys raised your hands and you had more than 10, so please say out loud one of your best test cases. We can't hear you. Out loud, please.
ABC is equal to 0, all 0.
Yeah, A is equal to B is equal to 0, C is equal to 0. So the expected is error.
And what is that?
The expectation is an error.
Is so a what? An error?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because it doesn't qualify for any of the 3 things like equivalent.
Everybody understands why, right?
Yeah.
This thing, can you tell us one of your best test cases?
We are given one of the having negative value. Negative value. A is having negative value and B and C are having positive value.
Okay, negative values, say this team.
1001. This qualifies to be an isosceles triangle as per the formula, but then that's not a valid value.
Did you guys, did you hear what she said? So she say, so there's 3 inputs. One of them is 1, the other one is 1, and the other one is 1,000. By definition, should be isosceles in terms of the simple definition, but it's actually not a triangle. You guys?
Invalid triangle. Some of those, we have taken a case in which some of 2 sides is not greater than the third side, so that will not be a valid triangle.
Do you guys get that one? Yeah. Okay, you guys over there?
We have got the input where the...
What will be a key test? Yeah. Well, one really good test that you can think of. A good one, not a simple, straightforward one. 0 is an easy, straightforward one. A good one. Come on, guys. Okay, negative, another one? Okay, so by definition, what kind of numbers does a factorial actually execute or calculate? Integers? Natural numbers, right? So will it be a good idea to have a test for that? Or not? Yes or not? Yes? Okay, so here's the question. What if there is another method or a function that is calling this one up and that one already checked against that? Should we check against the natural number? We should? But if there's only one method, one function that actually calls this one in and that one already checked that out, should we check again? Yes? Interesting. I will say no. Because if there's only one method or function that is calling this one and nothing else is calling it, testing again against that is a redundancy. We could spend that time and effort on a different test that actually needs to be done if we already did that. So this is interesting because there is this phrase from Lisa Crispin's book that says, in agile development, I don't like reading, but I'm reading this time. In agile development, we accept that we'll never understand all of the requirements for a story ahead of time. Do you guys agree on that? Does anybody disagree? Nobody, okay. All right. Well, we shouldn't make an excuse out of it. Oh, yeah, there's never going to be enough, so we just create 2 or 3. That's fine, whatever. No, we had to be good at it, right? We had to think very carefully. So how can we do that? We're going to start playing with the artifacts soon, so don't worry. You can stay standing. So how many of you have heard about systems thinking? Yeah, you better. Okay, a few people. So I'm not going to go in depth as to what is systems thinking, but I'm going to give you an idea. So all of you right now, or most of you are standing. I think, wow, everybody, okay. Everybody's standing. But right now, your body is in a somewhat rest state, right? And right now, your heartbeat, for example, your lungs are breathing at a certain pace, your heartbeat is going also at a certain pace. Is the number of heartbeats per minute inside your body right now equal to the number of times that you're breathing in and out? No? Which one is faster? Hopefully, right? So, okay, so now if we were to go jogging, let's just go around this area and jog, let's say 3 kilometers, and we get back to this room, how will our heartbeat and our breathing be compared to the way it is now? Faster. Okay, will both be faster than they were before, or only one of them? Okay, and will now the breathing be faster than the heartbeat? Will I be breathing faster than my heartbeat if I jog? Hopefully everybody agrees on that, because if you don't, then oops. Okay, so well, what happens is actually that our body is a system, okay? And as a system, it has essential components. Those essential components are those components without which the system will not function. Heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, etc. Non-essential components, my hair, a finger. You know, if I lose a finger, I'm still functioning. I'm okay. But if somebody takes my liver, not quite. And also, an essential component by itself doesn't accomplish the function. So if somebody takes my liver and puts it on the table, let's see what it does, right? It doesn't do much, okay? And I don't do much neither. So a system is a whole that has essential components which have to work in cohesion for the system to function. But that doesn't mean that they have to work at the same rate, at the same pace. It has to be, they have to work in the way that allows the system to function. That's why we don't have our breathing and our hearts going at the same speed. So we had what we had to do is we had to allow those components to work in a way that allows the system to function. Some things are faster, some things are slower, etc. So very roughly, that's the concept of systems thinking. The bottom line is what really matters is not the components of the system. What really matters is the interaction between the components of the system. That's why if my lungs start going faster than my heart, oopsie-doopsie, right? So they have to be the way they should be. So it's the interaction between those two and everything else that allows the system to function. So, anybody in disagreement? No? Okay. So here's a question. If you have 100,000 tests that you should do, but you can really actually only do 100 of them, how do you choose those 100 tests? The most critical ones? Extreme cases?
Based on the MVP.
I'm sorry?
Based on the MVP, minimal viable.
Based on the MVP. Here's a lean startup guy, okay? Based on the situation. Okay. So let's see. Nobody said, I will test the interaction. Interesting. What is most important in a system is the interaction between the components. Nobody said, I will test the interaction between the components, when that's the most important part. So my recommendation will be, let us test the interactions, and let us also test the value. Which value? The value to the customer, of course, and the value to the business. Okay? So that said, we're going to start playing, okay? So this was to get you guys on the right mindset so that we can focus on what we're going to do. So this is it's too bad that the image is not really good over there. Anyway, so what we're going to do is something that is called high collaboration dynamics, or highly collaborative dynamics. And basically, what is this? Imagine yourselves at a meeting, and this is, say, a prioritization meeting, a project prioritization meeting, or it's a customer features prioritization meeting. And let's say that we had to bring people from different teams who are in different cities, probably even different countries. It's a very important project, and we decided to bring everybody in here to Bangalore. So we get a couple of dozen people, and we have not only technical people, of course. We have managers, we have people from the legal department, people from the financial department, and so on and so on. So what happens during that meeting? Just picture it in your mind. Is everybody focused, discussing, talking, participating? Or is somebody checking text messages and looking at their email? And is there somebody who talks very loud and has a very, dominating personality, trying to influence the meeting? Is there somebody who is very quiet, kind of introverted? Maybe this guy has the most amazing ideas, but he's not participating because he's a rather quiet guy, and he's being intimidated by the other guy who is really loud, right? How balanced is that meeting? How much value can you get out of that meeting? How long is going to take the meeting, and what is going to be the result of that meeting? And let's consider how much it costs to get that meeting happen. Oopsie, right? It doesn't quite work. So now let's change context. Let's say you're playing a table game. Everybody knows Monopoly? Okay, so let's say when you play Monopoly with your friends and family, what happens with the game? Everybody's paying attention to the game. If somebody tries to break one of the rules of the games, what happens to that guy? Don't even get close to trying to do that, right? Everybody's paying attention. Is having fun. The rules are respected. It's very difficult for somebody to dominate the game in terms of influencing, and it's difficult for somebody who is rather shy to not participate. So wouldn't it be great if we could take those good aspects of gaming, of playing games, and bring it to the workplace and apply this when we're doing value-added work? What will happen if that prioritization meeting took place in a fashion similar to that one. So I'm going to show you some highly collaborative games so that you start getting a taste for it. So we're going to get started with this game that is known as the lighthouse diagram, okay? And what you're going to do is the following. I need to know, so raise your hands, those of you who live in Bangalore. Holy moly. Okay, lower your hands. Raise your hands, those of you who don't live in Bangalore. Very few people. Okay, so we're going to do this. I'm going to ask those few guys who don't live in Bangalore to actually form a team and go towards one of the flip charts. So let's put you guys over here, on this one here. And everybody else just remain evenly distributed where you are. So the team, the non-Bangalorean team will be over here. And the people who are here, please distribute yourselves. Okay? Let's say you each team decide, and decide very quickly because we don't have much time. So you just decide if you're going to think about Bangalore Airport either as somebody who is going to Bangalore Airport to pick somebody up, or if you're going to Bangalore Airport to go and fly somewhere out, okay? Now, based on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and my advice is distribute Post-it so everybody can write and participate. Don't start just yet, let me finish. So everybody's writing because it's a lot more effective. So what you're going to do is you're going to write one aspect or one thought or one thing, if you want to use that ambiguous word, per Post-it. And what you're going to indicate is what needs to be done at Bangalore Airport to become the best airport in the planet, okay? From that standpoint that you decide. Don't write anything lengthy. Write something very concise. For example, I would like conveyors all over the airport so I don't have to take more than 10 steps to get to the gate, for example. Okay, so something very concise, one concept per Post-it, and you're going to post it on the lighthouse flip chart, not on the one that is in blank. But the way you're going to post them is if you consider that to be something very important, you're going to put it closer to the top. And if you consider it to be not that important, you're going to start bringing it down. So at the bottom, this is really not that important. This is actually something very important. Okay? Ready, guys? Set, go. 2 minutes. No, as many as you can. So if each person writes individually, you're going to get more. Lighthouse should have like 30 or 40 Post-its by now, right? Because in 2 minutes, each one of you can write 3 or 4 Post-its, right? Okay, so let's see. So all of you have populated the lighthouse with what you think will be good to do to improve the airport. So now let's do the following. And this I'm going to give you just 1 minute, and that's way too much time. So I'm going to give you 1 minute for you guys to do 2 things. One of them is, and don't get started until I tell you. Let me finish the instructions first. What you're going to do is you're going to identify duplicates. Now you understand why I say everybody should be writing at the same time. Okay, because actually that is also important. If you have duplicates, if you have more than one of the same, hey guys, please wait. Everybody raise your hand. Come on, guys. I see people still working. I see people still working. Okay. So it is very important to do this exercise right because this is what you do in real life. When you go work with your customers or your peers, this is what you want to do, and that's why it's important, okay? So what I'm going to explain to you now is going to justify why I say that each person should be writing stuff instead of 9 people watching 1 person write, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to identify duplicates. For each instance of the same thing that you have, you're going to leave only one on the chart, on the diagram, and everything is going to be thrown away. However, you're going to put a dot on that post-it. Why? Because it's not the same to have a team where one person says this is important compared to 6 people saying this is important. Okay? So what you're going to do in 1 minute is eliminate duplicates, but also if you don't agree with the position of one of those other post-its, you are free to discuss them very briefly and move them to where you think it belongs. Okay? Go ahead. 1 minute. "20 seconds. You can do it, guys." Okay. It seems to be that there's not enough time, but what you will realize is that you have actually more time than you need to do this as you go through it. Also, depending on the situation, it's okay to time box or not. If you don't time box, it will have a natural cycle. So even without time boxing it, it will take very little time to do this. So if you realize what you have now is not a bidimensional diagram, you have a 2.5 dimensional diagram, because those dots that you put on those post-its are like density. It starts sticking out. Okay? What you're going to do now is you're going to have to use some extra post-its, and what you're going to do is you're going to categorize what you have there. So what you're going to do is you are going to identify categories. You're going to write the category and post it on top of the diagram, so probably outside the flip chart. And then what belongs to that category, you put the post-its that belong there without changing the vertical position, just the horizontal. Okay? 1 minute. Go ahead. Thanks. Ready? Ten seconds. Are you guys done? Yeah? Okay. Many times? Okay, I like that. All right. So, if you realize in a very short amount of time, and then picture doing this with all your stakeholders. In a very short amount of time, you have very valuable information as to what really matters to those people. Why is time important? Not in terms of time boxing, but in terms of just bringing the people and say, just start doing this. The less they think about it, the more valuable the information, because the first things that pop into mind are the most important ones. Okay, and we want to start capturing that. So you get that information, then you eliminate duplicates, but doing that, that also gives you a sense of relevance. So you get to a 2.5 dimensional representation, and then you categorize it. You have it categorized, then you have a better idea of what's going on. My recommendation, we didn't have the right materials for this, my recommendation is bring Post-its of different colors. If all the Post-its are of the same color, the quality of the result is not the same. Because the moment you bring different colors, you are subconsciously freeing people's minds to be more open to putting valuable feedback than not. Anyway, so what that means is that at this point, the diagram will have Post-its of different colors all over, right? So the right thing to do next will be to assign one color to each category and then rewrite all those Post-its with that color. What you will end up having is a diagram that is very easy to see and understand. And from there, you can start making decisions. You can start building up strategies. You can identify patterns within that diagram. Okay? So as you can see, very, very, very easy. Okay? So, and what can you do from there? Well, many things. You can start, it is already prioritized. You can identify what is more important. And from there, start writing user stories and go through what you already know how to do. Okay? But this is an excellent first shot. Why is this important? Because what good does it make to build something, to build very well something that is wrong? So what we want to make sure is that what we capture first is the right thing so that we do the right thing right. Okay? So let's leave that there for a moment and let's do the following. So you have another flip chart that has nothing drawn on it. What you're going to do now, and I'm going to give you actually 3 minutes for this one, you are going to draw, just very small, draw the engine of a train, and then identify the top 4 aspects from your lighthouse diagram, what you will consider the top 4. What is more important for you guys based on your diagram? And you're going to post them as if they were the cars of the train. Just evenly distributed so that there is a space between them. And what you're going to do next, you're going to start writing in what will be the junctions of the train. You're going to start writing Post-its indicating what is important to try or to test from the standpoint of the interaction between those components. So these are my lungs, this is my heart, this is my kidneys. What am I going to test in terms of the interactions for this machine to work and to run perfectly? Okay? Got it, guys? Okay, go ahead, good luck. Maybe I didn't communicate this correctly. It seems to that people spend the time just trying to figure out what were those essential components and not writing the test. So you need to write which tests will you do to make sure that actually the interaction between those components is okay, right? So I'm going to give you 2 more minutes, okay? So 2 more minutes, go ahead. You identify what will be the essential components. What is the most important of everything you have from the lighthouse for that airport to be the best one? And they just put it as a value chain in terms of what will be the sequence, and then the tests that you will have to perform between those for that interaction between those components. Okay. So what you want to do, okay. Oh, so this piece of music is actually from Mozart's The Magic Flute. This is the aria of the Queen of the Night. This is the most difficult piece of singing in opera there is in all of opera, and it's beautiful. So anyway, so you get an idea of what it is that we want to do, right? So what we have here is we have one way to capture, very effectively relevant information and to be able to have a visualization of that information that we can then start using. And then what we can also do, we can start figuring out from what is most important, what do we need to do for those interactions to actually work. We all know that integration, not integration testing in terms of continuous integration, but the actual testing of the integration of the parts of whatever it is that you are testing is actually the most difficult one. This is going to help you do this more easily. So now we're going to do something very quickly. We're almost at the end of the session. So let's do this, and this is just to make a point. So pick, say, 6 to 8 Post-its from your lighthouse diagram and prioritize them. Just pick any of them, any 6 or 8 of them, and just prioritize them. The highest priority one higher, the lowest priority one lower. Go ahead. One minute. You're done? You're good. All right. Are all the other teams done? I want to see that prioritized list there. Are you guys done? Okay. All right. You're done? Okay. So is everybody done? All right, congratulations. You finished 24 seconds ahead of time. You see how it just becomes more easily, more natural. You start getting things done. Okay, so we think we can prioritize, and we think we know how to prioritize, right? So let's do the following. If this allows me to. Okay, let me see. There it is. So I'm going to teach you ice cream prioritization. Delicious. Okay, so let's see. So what we're going to do is the following. I'm going to start telling you guys different flavors of ice cream. As I do so, what you're going to do is you're going to indicate with your hand how much you like or dislike that flavor of ice cream, okay? Are you guys ready? Let's start with plain vanilla, okay? Chocolate, strawberry, mango, yellow curry ice cream. But you need to indicate how much you like it. Okay, let's do it again. You guys have to indicate, okay? You cannot refrain yourselves. Chocolate. So you like it this much? Okay. Vanilla. Strawberry. Watermelon. Yeah, ice cream. Watermelon ice cream. Mango ice cream. Yellow curry ice cream. All right. So what does that mean? What that means is that we, human beings, really know how to prioritize. However, when we are asked to prioritize, or when we have to prioritize something that is work-related, we don't know how to prioritize. Because what we do is what? We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like one right next to the other, right? They go like this, which is very different from saying chocolate chip, vanilla ice cream, right? Vanilla, strawberry, mango, garlic ice cream, right? You see the difference? If I only do this, there's no semantics. There's only syntax. And that means nothing. Because if I have 2 or 3 things to prioritize, and they are all like this, I will say, oh, all these are the same. But no, maybe one is here and the other one is here, even though this one is the highest on this category. And maybe there is 3 here and there's 8 here. And we say, we're going to do everything that is P1, P2, and P3. And it just so happens that P3 here is my garlic ice cream, which most likely the customer will say, no way I want that. So the way we should prioritize is the way we prioritize ice cream, not the way we prioritize, we think we prioritized, okay? Very simple, amazingly powerful. Semantics is important. Human aspect is important. Don't neglect that. If you do everything you do based on the human aspect, you're going to go way beyond what you can achieve otherwise, okay? Thank you, guys. That's it. Thank you. Yes. Is there a microphone we can borrow?
Point of view. That's the way I see it. And in most projects, what happens is people tend to tell you, be practical, don't be emotional, don't have feelings. What are your thoughts about it?
Okay, thanks. Never stand next to a speaker, right? Okay, sorry about that. We got that in recording. It's going to go to YouTube tomorrow. Okay, so there's 2 aspects to that. Number 1 is ice cream prioritization doesn't really have to do with feelings. I'm using this to make the point across, but what this really has to do is value. Value to the customer, value to the business. That's the perspective we should take to the prioritization. Now, in terms of how much do the feelings play the role within a project, huge. Who is the receiver of the value? And whatever it is that we're doing, it has to do with that receiver of the value. And that value, even if it weren't a person, but let's say if it's a person, feelings are going to be there. And if I showed you 2 products that give you the same quality and give you the same features, both of them have exactly the same features, and both of them have exactly the same quality, but one of them is more attractive, is going to create an emotional response that is going to increase the likelihood of you purchasing that item. So it's important. Another question?
Do raise your hands for those that have questions. No?
I think they're thinking about lighthouses and trains. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, courtesy you for making the session so interesting.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Many thanks, Masa. I would like to call upon Shulk to do the honors in terms of felicitation. Can we have both of you on the stage, please?
Hey, thank you, man.
I always thought you were something I know it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure.